baby. All right, what is up, everybody? We ain't got nothing big planned today, but I needed to get the XT out and see how she performs with the upgrade to 20 weight fork oil. And just so happened, a buddy of mine that you've seen in the last half a dozen videos, riding videos or so, Hayden, he had the Triumph Tiger 800. Well, that bike is no more for him. He picked up a KTM 350 Deal Sport. I forget what the nomenclature is on their Deal Sports. XCW, maybe, whatever the factory Deal Sport is from KTM. But he got the 350, not the 500, and traded that Triumph for it. So he wanted to get out and test it out. Hold up, puppies. And I also got the DG exhaust back on with the quiet cord. Doesn't really quieten it down that much. And I also haven't rode it since I deleted the pair valve, or AIS valve, with the exception of just putting around the house on it. So I tell you, we went from having what seemed like non-stop rain every week to a drought. So all the creek crossings are nearly dry. Not that they were much of a creek crossing to begin with, but so I'm filming this on Saturday. Probably release it middle of the week, but this upcoming Saturday, weather permitting, I will be leading a group ride similar to the one I led last year, and I'll be on the T7 for that. But we got that coming up. I've already nailed a couple potholes along these roads, and I do feel like the front is pretty good now with that 20 weight oil. I don't know, preload wise, I would prefer to have the front end a little taller, just because at higher speeds these XTs tend to get a lot of front end wobble, even just going down the road. It's not a tire issue, it's just the rake of the front end is super steep, almost like a trials bike, and that's just not good for high speed. And it's plenty of XT owners have documented and asked questions about that before. It's not a tire issue, it's not a balance issue, it's the rake of these bikes is really, really steep. And I wouldn't want to chopper it out or anything by adding fork cap extenders or anything silly like that, but maybe a touch more preload, keep the front end sitting a little higher, might help with that. But the biggest reason for me to go to 20 weight oil was the rebound was really fast, and that was made worse by the fact that I then put preload spacers in there to begin with, and then preloading them front springs. So I really just wanted to slow the rebound down on the front end a little bit, not so much slow compression down. The side effect is obviously compression is going to be slowed a little bit, but I mean, going up from 15 weight, which is the factory fork weight listed in the owner's manual by Yamaha, to 20 weight isn't going to make a huge difference. It's enough to notice, and that's about it. And you see what I'm talking about the front end dancing. We're doing 45 on a dirt road, and the bars just kind of dance around. Doesn't really bother me. I can see how it might be a little unnerving for more novice riders. but getting a touch more preload in the front might help with that. It might not. It might not be enough to make a difference. Ooh, got some turkeys. And they call them a flightless bird. Look at that. All the way up over the trees. And if you'll notice in the thumbnail picture, I also trimmed the front headlight cowl. So if you have one of these, you know that there's a reflector mounted on the front headlight cowl, and that portion of the headlight plastic actually goes underneath the front fender, and it's got clips to like help clip it in. I think that looks absolutely ridiculous. Again, I think, meaning personal preference. So I trimmed the front headlight cowl where there's like a groove, a fold in that's molded into that headlight cover, and perfect spot to trim it on each side and get those pieces off of there. I'm probably gonna have to replace the front fender or drift stitch it or something, because it's actually cracked on both sides where that headlight cowl clips under it. But I think that's due to the fact that when I got this bike, it was missing 2 of the 4 bolts that hold the front fender on. Never in my life have I bought a used bike that had so many random bolts missing. None of them serious, but like 2 bolts missing out of the front fender up underneath. Bolts missing from the right side tank shroud plastic up and under where you take the seat off, or you can see it once you get the seat off rather. One missing on the left side, like nothing that you could even notice when riding the bike, but you start tearing it apart to do stuff to it or check stuff out, and it's just like random bolt missing after random bolt missing. I bet this bike I've replaced probably 8 bolts that were just random bolts missing that really didn't affect anything by them being gone, with the exception of the 2 that's missing under the front fender. I think that's what led to it cracking, because it was only held on with the back 2, so it allowed the front fender to really dip a lot, hitting bumps and stuff, and probably caused a crack. So last night I was watching I think it's on the Rocky Mountain Rides YouTube page. Rocky Mountain ATV MC has like a couple of YouTube channels that they run, but I think it was the Rides one. It would make sense for it to be the Rides one. Anyway, they just did a loop around Moab. I know they end up in Moab. I can't remember where they start. Warning, do not park here. Security camera in use. But I know they ride a loop around Cane Creek and then some other areas around there, but they do it on 4 TW200s. And if you need any more proof of how much fun you can have on a smaller bike, I don't know where to tell you to find it, because that's a perfect example of the difference between running a small bike, and I'm not necessarily meaning that small of a bike or as small of a bike as an XT250 or 225. I'm not necessarily meaning you have to go that small, but when you do get that small, I mean, they wreck and dump those bikes an incountable amount of times, and No one gets hurt. They're just laughing, having a hoot of a time. Go watch that video if you haven't seen it. It's just a hilarious video, but it's a good video to watch. Makes me want to go out west and ride some of that stuff. I watch a few videos from people out that way, and but watching them guys just do all that on the TW200s is it's a good watch. And again, it's just proof that you know, you don't need a big bike to go do stuff like that. And in fact, you might be better off with a small one, and maybe not. If not better off, you might just have more fun on a smaller bike. It's a whole lot less stressful, and it's not like it really slows you down any. If you watch the video from the last group ride I went on, the Dirt Devil ride, I mean, we've got a wide array of bikes on that ride, and how fast you can go just boils down to your skill level to a certain degree, more so than the bike. If you're a professional rider, motocross racer type rider, then obviously. But for average Joes, you're going to ride more or less the same pace on a small bike that you would on, say, a middleweight bike. And then at some point you're going to get, you know, if you keep going up in weight of the bike, at some point you probably will end up slowing yourself down with a bigger adventure bike, more so than you'd slow yourself down by picking a smaller deal sport. I lost it. I was wanting to try to hit all the way of that turn and then all the way through this one. Dang it. That's what happens when you got like 19 horsepower on paper. No telling what it actually makes at the wheel. Whenever you lose the balance point, you can't really chase it back down. We're not too far away from being to the end of this road, and then we're going to backtrack the road that we have already ridden. So I ain't going to film all that. I'll film it in case something crazy happens, one of us goes down or something. Forward to weather depending, next week's Mischief Maniac ride video we're doing next Saturday. That should be a good one. Don't know how good the video will be, but the ride will be good. If you're in southern Middle Tennessee, check us out on North Alabama Dual Sport Facebook group and check the events tab, and there's an event tab for that. And if the weather's crap, then the Saturday after this next Saturday is their alternate date. So weather dependent, it'll be the 16th of August, or what is that, the 23rd? One of the two. So anyway, we'll catch y'all on the next one.